Oh good, you're here. I want to show you something. That is the Indian Ocean, and that beach is Monkey Mere. Now I'm going to run over here and sit down because we're going to have a talk. My name is BrenMacDibble and I wrote The Dog Runner. And I want to thank you, Framwellgate, for getting my book and using it in this first half of your school year. We're just finished winter here. So today is a lovely mild 30 degrees or so. So it's nice and warm on the west coast of Australia. Now, when we have a meeting in Australia, we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. So that's the Mulgana people here. So I'd like to pay my respects to the traditional owners and their elders past and present. We do that because the Aboriginal nations of Australia don't so much own parcels of land as they belong to the land. So no matter what the land is used for, whether it's taken from them for farming or for national park, it can't stop tens of thousands of years of belonging to the land. So they still belong to this land and we pay our respects to them. Now, the Dog Runner. The questions are, how did you come up with an idea for the story of the Dog Runner? So I'd always wanted to write a story about a dog cart travelling across the desert. I wanted to make it a bit Mad Maxy. And then I combined that idea with the worst famine I could think of, which would be the death of all grass. Put two ideas together and suddenly I've got a story happening. Why did I choose Ella's perspective? Well, Ella is the youngest, she's the weakest. She makes a perfect observer. And she has the most to learn. She's from the city, she doesn't understand how the country operates. Whereas Emery already knows a bit. So she is a great window to look at this story through because we learn as she learns. I thought you'd relate to her. Did the finished book resemble your original ideas? Well, once I started researching grass, I became aware that grass had been cultivated in Australia for many thousands of years before Europeans arrived. So grains were being cultivated and baked into bread 600 years before the Egyptians. So there is this long history of farming in Australia that hasn't been documented very well. So I didn't want to write a book and ignore that. So I had to add that in, which meant I had to do more research, talk about it a few times in the book, and also add the grandfather character to be the person who gives us this information. Now I'm going to just try and cut the wind down and speak a bit louder maybe. So, because I think the wind is getting up. We're on the coast, so I apologise for the wind noise and I apologise for my funny accent. I am a New Zealander. I did live in London, but I have a terrible accent. Were any of the characters based on real people? Well, I like to think that Emery is based on a neighbour friend of mine when I was a kid, Michael, who was always really lovely to his little sisters. So I think I kind of have worked in a few people I know. Do you think the events that occurred in the book could actually happen one day? Well, in Uganda in 1999, there was a terrible grass fungus that attacked wheat and got out of control, and scientists to this day are still developing grass strains that are resistant to this strain of fungus. I I don't think that it is something that will happen as broadly as it happened in my book, because I took out all the wheat, the oats, the rye, the barley, the grass, the sugar, the bananas even. I attacked everything. I don't think a fungus will be that broad. I think maybe it'll just take out a few things, like maybe all sugar or maybe all wheat and rye, but not as bad as I wrote it. But it was interesting for me to discover how much grass that we eat in our diet, and I thought that would be interesting to you too, so that's why I took it all. I'm sorry, it's a bit scary. Will there be a sequel? I think Ella and Emery need a bit of quiet time, a bit of a lie down, and a bit of a holiday. I think I put them through a lot, so I don't think they'll be coming back, but I will have another book coming out soon. Well, eventually. I've got to finish writing it. What's my best advice to another author? Find your voice, tell your story, tell what you're interested in. Don't try to be all high and mighty, fancy falutin, right all fancy. Try to guess what the next big thing is. Do your thing and just trust that your thing is other people's things as well. What's life like when you're not writing? Okay, I'm going to have to pick you up again, take you over here, spin you around. That's my house there, that thing there on wheels. Yes, I live in that. It's not a big house, it's a bus. So when I'm not writing, I am driving around in that bus. There's a motorbike in the trailer in the back that I get off and do a bit of sightseeing. I have a snorkel and goggles so I can go snorkeling. I go swimming, I walk the dog, I do the housework. But there's not much housework because it's tiny. So get a really small house. That's my life tip for you. Get a tiny house. Yeah, so basically I'm traveling around Australia at the moment, and I have been for almost 2 years, and it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend that also. A bit of sightseeing is what I do. Yesterday I was at the Carnarvon Space Station. Did you know there was a space station in the outback? Who knew? Why did I want to be an author? I like to tell stories, and I'm so pleased that people listen to my stories now. And I'm really, really happy that I get to tell stories at this time in history. And my stories are about environmental issues. And what I really, really love is I get to be part of the conversation that keeps people talking about environmental issues, because no solutions come from science. So we all need to do this. We need to just keep talking. So whether you walk, school strike with Greta, whether you walk on Parliament, no matter what you do, just keep talking about the issues. And Generation Z, you're the guys to do it. Never seen such a great generation. Now, I hope you love the dog runner. I hope they don't make you do any horrible essays or anything about it. I hope you just enjoy it, and maybe it opens your eyes about a few things and makes you think, and just keep talking about environmental things. Thank you for coming to visit me here at Monkey Mia, and enjoy the book, and I hope to see you again. Bye.